Day one at Bathurst is done and dusted. It's the Thursday wrap-up. These daily wrap-ups are going to be nice and short, so we have got some quick news to cover off before we get into the day's action. The Matt Charter, Jalen Robotham livery, Caltex Young Guns. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big thing, really, because it's not the Caltex we know and love previously. This is a new American company with the name that's coming in. Yeah, an impressive get. Also, if you jump on the V8 Sleuth website, you can sign up for a free Caltex hat. Get on it. Super Cheap livery, all the faces of the fans. I think you had to be a Super Cheap member to get your face on there, so I missed out on that one, I think. There was some reason I didn't do it, so yeah. Anyway, car, yeah, I think it looked better in the testing livery, but yeah, that's me. Then also talking of things being released, coming out, the 650 Mustang. How good do the Gen 3 cars look? Looks even better in the flesh than in the renders. How quickly before the Dick Johnson test whatever models are announced next week, you'll have a full set of them. Yeah, but it looks really cool. This is a really cool thing. Speaking of cool looking things, the Boost Wildcard, that looks amazing. That car just, I don't know, that just looks really good on track. The DJR livery, it is growing on me. I'm still not totally sold on it, but it is growing on me. How good do those special hats look though? How can I get hold of one? I did jump on the website, but they are sold out apparently. If anyone knows how to get one, I would love to have one. Also the Boost Mobile Wildcard hats as well, they look really cool too. Love to get my hands on one of those. I might have to do some online shopping for one. The other bit of news that came out before the weekend, Todd Hazelwood has been confirmed at the Blanchards from next year. Is this really a step forward for him, or is he just going after a bigger paycheck? MSR's been a little bit lost, and the results from today not looking much better. But also Slade's looked pretty lost in that car most of this year as well. So yeah, a bit of a sideways step there, really. Now for the action today, Super 2 we'll start off with. Not too much happened there except for Kai Allen, Super 3, doing his best Ferrari pit stop impersonation, trying to drive along on three wheels. How far did that wheel bounce down Conrad Straight? Yeah, that was the first, I suppose, fault of the weekend. The 888 cars were 1 and 2 in that session. Hill first, Fraser second. The second session, not too much, nothing to report, which is a good thing on a Thursday at Bathurst. So no cars really needed fixing in the Super 2. There was a couple of Super 3 cars that had a bit of damage there, but we're mainly focusing on the Super 2 here. Matt McLean ended up the fastest, and friend of the show, Bradley Vaughan, he was fastest of the Super 3 runners. Then on to the main game. Practice 1, the session started off damp. There was a dry line, and then quickly the times started coming down. They were all running around on slicks. It wasn't too much, even though Scafey kind of, this could be the only dry session of the weekend, and said that about 1 million times over the session, which, yeah, it was starting to get a little bit annoying, which, of course, session 2 was very dry, so mountain out of a molehill. It will be interesting, the weather over the weekend. The forecast isn't looking good. Waters was the first one who caused a red flag. He buried it in the sand at the final turn. There was no damage to the car, not really any damage to any car today. SVG and Di Pasquale did tap the wall each. SVG's was a bit of a nudge against the side of the wall. Anton was very, very gentle against the tyre barrier, but oh my God, that save of his, that was ridiculous. The other victims in that first session, Jake Kostecki buried himself at turn 1, and Lowndes and Jaime had little offs, but they just kept going. On to session 2, Kurt Kostecki was the first one, trying to outdo your brother. He buried it early on in the session, no damage. Then Warren Luff, he was the only other one to come to grief during that session, and he buried it in at the chase, and he buried it in hard. No damage to the car, but Nick Percat was looking really good in that car in session 1, and then Luff was He was mid-pack and then ended up at the back because obviously didn't go out at the end and have another crack at time. So the standout for the day, Mr. Garth Tander, he was the quickest. Overall, they look like the quickest pairing right now. Both of them were, well, Tander was fastest. I think Shane was 7th off the top of my head. The next quickest combo seems to be the sister car of Feeney and Whincup. Dave Russell. Wow, where did that come from? Just scintillating. I wasn't predicting Brodie Kostecki to be the slower of the two drivers in that car this weekend. And Jordan Boyce, just absolutely out of nowhere. Maybe he should be partnering with Jaime in the team there. That's probably the highest one of those that BJR car has ever been in any session ever. It is, though, really hard to gauge the pace of the cars because you don't know who's really gone out and had a good crack at it. And who's just working on race setups. Like, Mostert and Coulthard, they looked pretty comfortable all day, and they were just, both of them were kind of around the back of the top 10, so they're in there. Waters and Moffat, but doing pretty much the same thing. You just don't know. Tomorrow, when we're qualifying, that is where it really starts to get really exciting, but as you can see from the smile on my face, it's just great to see the cars around Bathurst again. And two more practice sessions, qualifying tomorrow. I will do a review at the end of the day. Don't forget to get your entries in for the Bathurst tipping competition. I will shut off entries before qualifying tomorrow, so this is your last chance. Down in the comments, your top 3 podium getters. Don't forget the first in, best dress on the combinations, so most of the expected combinations are gone, but with wet weather, anything could happen, so it could be up for grabs for anyone. But until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.